Hello friends, it's a sunny day in November and I've got an idea. Let's get out in the great outdoors. Let's look at Blandford Nature Center and the biodiversity that we see in the different ecosystems. Let's find some animal shelters too. Let's go. Wait, is my camera upside down? No, it's the reflection. Look at this. The wetland ecosystem here at Blandford is beautiful. Think about all of the animals that we've learned about that live under the surface of this pond. And then look at all the plants that are growing around the edge. Many different kinds of life. That's biodiversity. The variety of life in an area. It's quite beautiful. Look at that. This meadow with all of its tall grass would be good escape cover and a good hiding spot for white-tailed deer. White-tailed deer don't really have a shelter of their own, but they'll hide in tall grass like this and lay down in it to try to not be seen by predators. Wow, a lot of biodiversity in this field at Blandford. Different kinds of grasses and other plants. Biodiversity. Friends, in a natural ecosystem, animals need to find shelter in their habitats. So along the wildlife trail here at Blandford, staff at Blandford Nature Center has tried to simulate the shelters that these animals would have if they could be in the wild. All of these animals on this wildlife trail have been injured or orphaned in some way. Let's take a look at some of them. Whoa, a woodpecker went by. Cool. Friends, this shelter simulates the habitat and shelter of a barn owl. Barn owls do not live in Michigan anymore. They're extirpated from the state. They're still around, but they live in other states, not Michigan. This is an example of a shelter for a barn owl. It lives in old barns and buildings and structures that people make. The frame of this building protects it from wind and rain in very cold temperatures. It's a shelter for a barn owl. Very cool looking owl. Look at that. Hello, barn owl. Here's the shelter of an injured osprey. An osprey is a type of hawk that eats mostly fish. They have special adaptations for catching big fish and eating them. So their habitat in this enclosure includes water, and they give it fish to eat. Look at the shelter. Many of you familiar with Blandford know Buddy, the red-tailed hawk. This hawk was injured years ago, and Blandford's taking care of it and giving it a place to live. Look at its shelter. Oh, it's eating a rat right now. Awesome. Every animal needs food, water, and shelter in their habitat. So Buddy has a cage to protect it from predators. And it has a perch up here so it can sit up high and watch the forest floor. Buddy is a red-tailed hawk. And it has a habitat that's been built by people to protect it. Awesome. Nice job, Buddy. Look at it ripping up that meat. Yum. Hey, Buddy, can I have some of that rat? You want to share? Look how a hawk uses its sharp-hooked bill to rip up meat. That's a perfect bill, a perfect adaptation for ripping up dead meat. Wow, look at the intestines. Yum. Oh, Buddy, not a very neat eater. Look at the habitat that they've created at Blandford for Buddy, the red-tailed hawk. Perfect. The newest addition to Blandford's Wildlife Trail is this porcupine. Porcupines normally live in a forest habitat where they climb trees and eat bark. This one was taken away because somebody tried to keep it as a pet when it was a baby. That's a mistake. Human shelters are built out of natural materials. A long time ago, people used to build log cabins, and they used logs and pieces of wood. They made boards to build their structures to live in. So a log cabin, just like an animal shelter, provides protection from rain, wind, and cold temperatures, and it protects from predators. or other threats. So human shelters. Did you know many animals find shelter simply under a log? Animals like snakes. Whoa, friends, check this out. Many animals make their shelters right near us. Here's a burrow, probably dug by a woodchuck, some other animal that digs. And it dug its burrow, its special underground shelter, right next to the greenhouse. Wow. So animals sometimes will make shelters near humans. I wonder what this is. If it's a woodchuck, it's down there hibernating. Shh, don't wake it up. Amazing. Animals and shelters. We can learn a lot from animals.